A former Speaker of the Wyoming House is killed in a head-on crash. The Maverick brand is taking over Wyoming come-and-go convenience stores, and the state's most expensive divorce is being contested in front of the Wyoming Supreme Court. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily. A Sundance rancher, former Wyoming House Speaker, and grandson of a former governor who was a decades-long player in Cowboy State politics was killed in a head-on crash Friday. 84-year-old Nell Smith, his wife Jeanette, and the driver of the oncoming car, 44-year-old Torrington resident Alicia Rodriguez, were all killed in the crash on Highway 85 north of Lingle. Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson reports that Smith, a Crook County Republican known for his tall stature and deep voice, joined the legislature as one of the youngest lawmakers in state history at the age of 23.
Nell Smith is from Sundance, Wyoming. His grandfather was actually governor of Wyoming from 1938 to 1942. He had the same name. Nels H. Smith was the governor's name. And Nels really kind of followed in his footsteps to a certain extent.
Governor Gordon extended his condolences to the Smith and the Rodriguez families for their losses. The Wyoming Highway Patrol is still investigating the crash, but driver inattention and fatigue were potential contributing factors. A dozen or so come-and-go stores in Wyoming will rebrand over the next 2 years after its acquisition by Maverick Adventure's first stop. Business reporter Renee Jean said that the Salt Lake City-based corporation, which started in Afton, Wyoming, has bought the come-and-go brand in Wyoming and 12 other states and will rebrand many of them over the next year.
The company started in Afton, Wyoming. A local 20-year-old decided to open a business in his hometown. Today, Maverick is the largest independent fuel marketer in the Intermountain West. They employ 8,000 people. And so with their purchase of the Come and Go, they'll double the number of stores that Maverick owns.
Come and Go has 14 stores in Wyoming and 400 locations across the 13 states where it's located. Search efforts continued Tuesday evening for a 76-year-old California man who hasn't yet returned from a Saturday day hike in Wyoming's Wind River Range. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi reports that Steve Keller was last seen near Steamboat Lake on Saturday.
He's taken this route before. He's an avid outdoorsman and he knows how to handle himself, but he didn't take his pack with him. So now it's 3 days where there's been no sign, no contact. And the Fremont County Sheriff's Office has started a search, but they've encountered bad weather, which has hampered their search efforts.
The Fremont County Sheriff's Office launched a search effort involving at least 15 volunteers on foot and a helicopter in coordination with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department and the Shoshone and Arapaho Fish and Game. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, much to the relief of those who operate Level 2 electric vehicle charging stations, a draft bill backed off of a tax and annual licensing fee that would have put them out of business. Level 2 chargers are a step up from a standard residential plug, but are slower to charge than the Level 3 DC fast chargers, such as the Tesla supercharger stations. After debating the draft last week, the Joint Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs Committee amended the legislation so that the new 4 cents per kilowatt-hour tax would only apply to Level 3 chargers. And Ann Holding, daughter of Sinclair and Little America mogul Robert Earl Holding, is arguing to the Wyoming Supreme Court that a $202.5 million divorce payout, the most expensive in Wyoming history, wrongfully violates her family inheritance. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland says the Sinclair heiress is arguing that a lower court wrongly ordered her to pay more than $202 million to her husband of nearly 40 years, Christian Peterson, after he filed for divorce in 2021.
The goal throughout much of the divorce proceedings was to keep her shares in the family business intact so that she did not have significantly fewer shares than her siblings. So she wasn't disadvantaged in her stake in the family business.
Holding is the daughter of the late Robert Earl Holding, who made a fortune running Little America, Sinclair Oil, and other businesses. And that's today's news. You can read about all of these stories and more on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily.